Right now, there is money leaving your bank account every single month for something you stopped using, and you have no memory of signing up for it. That's not an assumption. A working paper from the National Bureau of Economic Research found that 90% of consumers underestimate their monthly subscription costs, and the real number they pay is roughly 3 times higher than their own estimate. Think you spend $80 a month on subscriptions, you're probably spending $240. The average American spends $219 a month on subscriptions and wastes $32 a month on forgotten ones. Across the country, forgotten and unwanted subscriptions drain an estimated $27.7 billion from U.S. consumers annually. Here's a short history of how we got here. The subscription model is not new. Magazines ran it for decades. You signed up, a bill came in the mail, you had to actively write a check to cancel. The friction was visible. You felt the decision, then the internet removed the paper. The bill stopped arriving in your hand. It became a line item buried in a bank statement between your grocery run and your gas charge, and the industry studied that shift very carefully. Research published in the American Economic Review confirmed that consumer inattention, not just switching costs, is the dominant force keeping people subscribed to services they no longer value. When subscribers' credit cards are replaced and they have to take one active step to update payment information, many simply do not resubscribe. They weren't satisfied. They were just inattentive. The companies know this. It is priced into their business model. Sign up required one click. Cancellation is buried under 5 nested menus: account, preferences, billing, manage plan, view options, then cancel. That's not a design accident. That is a deliberate interface decision made by someone in a room who knew exactly what they were doing. The FTC and ISPN reviewed 642 websites and mobile apps offering subscription services across 26 countries. Nearly 76% of them employed at least one dark pattern. Nearly 67% used multiple simultaneously. 81% of services with automatic renewal removed the ability to disable auto-renewal during the sign-up process itself, forcing an extra step after the fact, presumably hoping the customer forgets. And here's where it gets particularly clever from a financial engineering standpoint. Nobody loses sleep over $9.99 a month. But multiply that by 5 forgotten subscriptions across 130 million US households, and you get a $27. And $7 billion industry built on people not paying attention. The charge is designed to feel trivial. Individually, it is. Collectively, it is one of the most effective passive revenue mechanisms in the history of commerce. This is not a conspiracy theory. It is documented in peer-reviewed economics research. The paper is public. The link is in the description. Here's what changes everything. You have 3 tools available to you right now that most people have never used together. And each one addresses a different layer of the problem. Sewell 1. The subscription audit apps like Rocket Money, formerly Truebill, use read-only, bank-level encrypted connections through the Plaid API to scan your transaction history, then identify recurring charges and surface them in a single dashboard. You don't give it permission to move money. It only reads. Then Rocket Money users discover an average of $80 to $100 per month in forgotten or unwanted subscriptions after their first account scan. The free tier of Rocket Money handles basic detection. The paid tier, which runs $6 to $12 a month or $48 to $60 annually, includes a cancellation concierge, meaning their team navigates the cancellation process on your behalf. For someone carrying $80 in forgotten charges, the math resolves itself in the first month. If connecting a bank account is not something you're comfortable with, there's a fully manual alternative. Bobby, available on iOS, lets you input subscriptions manually with no financial connection required. Sewell 2, Virtual Card This is the forward-looking fix. Services like privacy.com let you create single-use or merchant-locked virtual cards. Sign up for a free trial using a virtual card. Set a spending limit of $0 after the trial period. The card automatically declines the renewal charge. The trial runs, the renewal attempt fails, and nothing hits your real account. Privacy.com is free for up to 12 virtual cards per month. You're using a legitimate payment method. You are fully within your consumer rights. You are simply applying informed financial management to the sign-up process. Sewell 3. Your federal consumer rights, the FTC, has continued to enforce the core principles of the click-to-cancel rule under Section 5 of the FTC Act and the Restore Online Shoppers Confidence Act. even after the rule itself was vacated on procedural grounds in 2025. As of March 2026, the FTC launched an advance notice of proposed rulemaking to revive the rule formally. Roughly 30 states have also enacted their own automatic renewal laws, some of which are stricter than the proposed federal rule. What this means practically: if a company makes you cancel via phone when you signed up online, then if they bury the cancel button behind multiple confirmation screens designed to cause decision fatigue, or if they charge you after you attempted to cancel, those practices are under active regulatory scrutiny. You have the right to file a complaint. Every complaint filed with the FTC at reportfraudftc.gov adds to the evidentiary record that drives enforcement action. Here's the exact protocol. Set aside 45 minutes once, then repeat it quarterly. Step 1. Run the audit. Then download Rocket Money or open your bank and credit card statements for the last 60 days. Go line by line, flag every recurring charge. Include annual ones, those are the sneakiest. Annual subscriptions are the most overlooked. The $99 per year charge hits once, gets forgotten, and renews silently for years. Write every flagged item on a list with its monthly or annualized cost. Step 2. Apply the value test. For each item, ask one question. Did I use this in the last 30 days? Not, do I intend to use it? Not, is it useful in theory? Did I actually use it? Anything that fails this test goes on the cancel list. Step 3. Cancel systematically niche. How to cancel service name 2026 before starting. This surfaces the exact current cancellation path, which changes frequently. For services where the cancellation is genuinely buried or requires a phone call, use Rocket Money's Premium Cancellation Concierge to handle it on your behalf. Step 4. Block the future problem. Going forward, for any free trial, use a privacy.com virtual card. Set the merchant limit to the trial cost only. The renewal charge is declined automatically at the card level. You don't need to remember to cancel. The structure handles it. Step 5. Report what's genuinely broken. If you attempted to cancel and were blocked, charged again, or faced a deliberately obstructive process, document it with screenshots and file a report at reportfraudftc.gov. This is a legitimate consumer protection mechanism. It takes 4 minutes and directly contributes to regulatory enforcement. Step 6. Repeat quarterly. The average household added 2.5 new subscriptions in 2024, while only canceling 1.2. Subscription creep is continuous. Auditing once does not solve it permanently. A 45-minute review every 3 months does. The subscription economy is not inherently wrong. Paying for things you use is a fair transaction. The problem is a system that was deliberately engineered to keep you paying for things you don't use, using interface design, cognitive psychology, and billing timing chosen to minimize the moment you'd notice. As one academic paper on dark patterns in subscription cancellation put it, these are user interface elements deliberately designed to manipulate users into acting in ways that benefit businesses rather than align with users' preferences. That's the formal definition. The tools to dismantle that system are free, legal, and sitting in your app store right now, a quarterly audit, a virtual card, and knowing your federal complaint rights. That's the full stack. None of it requires you to outsmart anyone. It just requires you to look. If you found this useful, hit subscribe. I'm Simpson, and I'll see you in the next one.